Hi, this is Kim from Dorothy's Daughter. Stay tuned. We're learning all about darts today. How to pivot them, how to move them, and how to sew them. Hi, this is Kim from Dorothy's Daughter. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to bodice fitting video number 2. Today we're going to talk all about darts. Before we get to that, I just want to say hello and just a shout out to my subscribers there, and thank you so much for spending part of your day today with me. So if you want to take your sewing to the next level, you're in the right place. On my channel I cover sewing tutorials, pattern reviews, and fit techniques, whatever we need to make our sewing life better. All right, let's talk about darts. Why do we need them? Well, the good Lord made us in 3D. So we have parts that stick out, right? And we have like bumps that we celebrate sometimes, right? We're happy for the bumps and curves that we have. So God gave us a 3D body. And so to take a flat piece of cloth and lay it down the front of us, it just does not work. What happens is it'll fold funny or lay funny or something. So what we do is we sew darts into them to make them 3D like our bodies. So this becomes a fit issue when the apex, which is the point of your bust line, doesn't line up with where the dart is headed. That is one fit problem that's really super easy to fix, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. All right, we want to achieve that perfect fit, and we can do that when we move our darts around. All right, and also another reason to do that is that it accentuates our best features. To have a nice fitting garment, perhaps like if you're like me, this is like the smallest part of me right here. So if my darts are in the right place and this is a little bit body hugging right here, it's going to be a flattering pattern for me. Everybody's different, but that would be something else that you'd want to make sure of, is that you're accentuating your best features, and darts can really help you do that. So I'm going to cut to a video where I've shown you how to take your bodice pattern and basically manipulate it to get your apex in the right place first, and then also to move a dart. Let's say for a style element you want to move your darts to the waistline, or you want to have a dart the waistline and an open dart, an inverted dart up here, to have like a little pleat here. You can do that. You can move them all around. So I'm going to cut to a video where I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, and I'll be back at the end. Okay, so first let's look at how to move a dart. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to be finding your apex, and you're going to want to somehow mark that on your pattern. Now let's say your apex is actually down here. All right, let's say that's your apex right there. All right, so what you're going to do is you're just going to take this whole dart unit, now you just measure the amount there that you need to lower it. So this is a small scale, so it's, let's say it's for me it's about usually a 1/2 inch that I have to go down. So depends on, you know, your own makeup, but usually it's like a 1/2, 3/4, 1 inch the most that you have to lower the darts. So you're just going to cut that, a big rectangle around the whole dart unit, okay? And then you're just going to lower it by however much you need to lower it. I'm going to make sure that everything lines up nice and straight, okay? And then you're just going to go ahead and tape that there. And you can put some paper behind to fill that in if you like, and then just true up your lines. That's all you have to do. That's super easy to lower a dart. All right, so just cut out the entire dart and just move it down as much as you need to. Super easy, okay? To make dart higher, you just go the opposite way. All right, and then you would just be truing up the lines and filling in the spaces, okay? That is moving a dart. That's the easy way to move a dart, okay? The other thing you might need to do is you want to measure from here to here. So you want to measure center front to your bust point, and then you want to, if you need to move the dart in further or out further, you're also going to do that. So let's say you need to move it down and out a ½ inch. So you just move it out and down. And then you're just going to true up your lines, and there you go. Okay? Now when you move it out, you're actually increasing it's going to add to what you might need for a full bust. So if you do that first and then see if you still need a bust adjustment. But that is, you know, only if your span here is wider apart. If it's narrower, then you're just going to go in. Okay? Super easy. Just move this dart to wherever you need it, true up the lines, and then that's your starting point. Okay? Now next week we're going to talk about small and full bust adjustments. What this is going to do is give you the starting point. Most people's apex is not, at least if you're over 40, it's probably not up there where a lot of patterns have it. It's probably down just a little bit. Mine is about ½ inch to 3/4 that I have to lower my darts. So it just depends on you. Okay? So that is just moving a dart up, down, in, and out. All right? So I'm just going to interrupt this here for just a second to say, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. That helps me produce more videos. It helps YouTube get the word out about my channel, which in turn helps me be able to continue to bring you good content. All right, so hit that subscribe button, give me a like, a share. I really, really appreciate you so much. All right, now let's pivot a dart, okay? So I'm going to actually cut this pattern off at the waist because I want to move, let's say I'm hacking this pattern, and I want this to be a waist dart, okay? So what I'm going to do is take my ruler and I'm just going to draw down from the apex. All right, so let's pretend the apex is right here. Usually the apex is going to be a good 3/4 of an inch away from the end of the dart. You want that because you don't want it to come to a severe point, okay? So I'm going to take and measure down straight from the apex, all right? And out into dart land here, okay? Now the first thing you have to do though is you have to get rid of the seam allowances. So I've already cut off all the seam allowances here to my pattern, all right? The reason being that you don't want that in the way of your pivoting, okay? So what you're going to do then is you're going to cut along both of those lines here, but not all the way through, okay? Right to there, all right? So then what you're going to do is you're just going to pivot this dart so that it is down, okay? And then what you've effectively done is moved the dart down, okay? So what you're going to do then is you're going to take and start the dart about ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch down and make the legs of your dart, okay? So let's put some paper under there so you can get what I mean. All right, so we've got some paper under there. So we've pivoted the dart out. You just make those 2 points meet, right? If you have seam allowance, you can overlap them if you need to, but basically you're going to go from the dart point to the dart point, okay? So let's tape these down. Okay, we've closed the dart here, so we've opened it up here. Let's tape it down. Okay, so what we want to do is measure down like at least a ½ inch, but preferably about 3/4 of an inch down from your apex. And then you're just going to go ahead and draw those new legs right out to where your new dart starts, okay? And this is going to be your new dart right here. This is the bottom. So this is if you wanted just a waistline dart, okay? So you could split the difference. You could make this smaller and leave a little bit of opening here. You could move it up here. If you want a princess line, you move it up here and down here, and then you just go ahead and you have you know, this situation here where you just, and then it's real easy to just cut that there then and have two pieces that become a princess line. So that's how that works. So you can pivot darts anywhere. Just remember, take the seam allowances off so they're not in your way. When you cut, you only cut to the apex, not through it, so that you can pivot things. And it's super, super easy to do. And that is how you move darts around. One place that's popular to have them is up here. I've seen patterns that have them all in the waist. I've seen, most of the time I see split the difference. Okay, so when you have a situation like this, is exaggerated because it's so small. When you have a situation like this, you're just going to true up those lines, okay? You know, the real way would be to use this inside line because you want this to be, you know, where, but sometimes, like for me, I might need more room in my waist, so I'll just take this line and then factor that in when I do my whole calculation there. That is how you move a dart. You can practice moving them all over the place if you want to. But, you know, there are charts that show, you know, how much of an angle there becomes as you go around the apex. That's it. That's all there is to moving and pivoting a dart. All right, now what I'd like to do is show you how to sew a dart. There is a little bit of a technique so that you don't get points, right? You don't want, like, bullet points with headlights on them saying, "This is my apex." You don't want that. So I'm going to show you a little trick in not having pointy darts. I've marked a dart on this fabric. I don't know if you can see here and here. Hopefully you can see that. Sometimes it's a little hard to see. Let me bring it closer. Hopefully you can see that. All right. So this is the wrong side of the fabric. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring those legs together and the apex, or the point of the dart, which is not the apex, it's a 1/2 inch down. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pin those together and get it ready to sew. Make sure everything is lined up really well. All right, now when I go to sew this dart, what I'm going to do is I'm going to visualize a point. Here's where the dart comes to a point, okay, right here. I'm going to actually shoot for about a 1/2 inch back, okay? And that way, because if you go all the way to this point and stop, then you're going to end up with a little bit of a pointy dart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this dart, but I'm actually going to aim for about a 1/2 inch back from the end. And then I'll show you what we do when we get there. Okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to sew my dart. And I'm aiming for here. Here's the point. Right here's the point of my dart. I'm aiming for here. So straight there. All right, then when you get to that point, what you want to do is you want to kind of slowly pivot and sew just along the edge, right along the edge to that point. Now don't backstitch, okay? Don't backstitch here. Just sew right off and let those, don't cut them off either. You just pull the threads out, okay, and then cut them by hand. And now you're going to tie those off, all right? And so that last little 1/2 inch, you've gone really close to the edge, which will give you a nice gradual point without it being like super pointy. And then once you press those darts, you can see how that is not going to be super pointy and weird. See that? It's actually going to lay really nice once it's pressed. So you just go all the way down about a 1/2 inch shy of where you need to go, and then go really, really close to the edge for that last 1/2 inch. And sew right off. Don't cut off your threads. Don't backstitch. Just pull them out and cut them by hand. And then you're just going to tie those off, okay? So once you tie them, I usually tie them 2 times. And then I take and I leave just a little bit there. It's not going to hurt anything to leave just a little bit of a tail there, just to make sure you don't cut through. All right. And then you have a really nice dart. So today we've learned all about darts, how to sew them, how to move them, pivot them, and all those fun things. So I hope that helps understand darts better and understand that they're nothing to fear and that they're just ways to sculpt to our 3D figure that God gave us. So feel free to email me if you have any questions at all. I'm always happy to help. You can join our Facebook group. If you have a question that you want me personally to see in the group, just go ahead and tag me so that I'll see the comment and be able to give you an answer. All right, have a fantastic day. I hope that everything in your life is going well. I hope your dreams are coming true, especially your sewing dreams. Have a good one. Happy sewing.